Hey everyone, it's TJ, DominateDepression.com. I wanted to answer the question, can you take amino acids while on antidepressants? This is the most commonly emailed question that I get, and the answer is yes, but with caution. Before I start talking about amino acids combined with antidepressants, I kind of want to talk about why am I asked this question so much? And it's because people are taking antidepressants and it's not solving the problem. They're either trying to get off the antidepressants or they're having all these crazy side effects, all this different stuff going on, and so they're trying to find more solutions. Either, hey, I got to get off this antidepressant, and how are amino acids going to help me do this? Or can they help me even more than what this antidepressant is doing? And one of the main reasons why antidepressants don't always work is they don't actually produce more neurotransmitters. So take an SSRI, for example. What it does is it blocks the reuptake of the existing serotonin in your brain. So there's not actually any more serotonin in your brain. And what that means is later on, there's no extra serotonin left over to produce melatonin and something called 5-HIAA. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I began my journey by reading a book called The Mood Cure by Julia Ross. In that, she talks about how 5-HIAA is just as important as serotonin to overall mood, and there's also been a lot of studies that show that decreased levels actually result in violent behavior, insomnia, restlessness, depression, anxiety, etc. Most people that suffer with mood problems suffer from low serotonin and low 5-HIAA. And so a lot of times antidepressants are more of a band-aid solution, and they don't actually solve the problem and they don't get you all the way there. They can work for a short period of time, but after a while they can lose their effectiveness, and some people say that it can be a little dangerous because they can actually reduce levels of 5-HIAA long term. With this question, you're either in one of two groups. The first group is you want to take the amino acids and continue taking your antidepressant. The second group is you want to use amino acids to wean off of your antidepressant. There was actually a British study done, and they gave people that were taking an antidepressant, an SSRI, tryptophan. They had already failed 4 other trials. They're severely depressed, treatment resistant, and they gave them tryptophan while they were on an existing antidepressant. When they did that, their depression scores actually decreased by 50%. People that are even taking SSRIs and they experiment with 5-HTP, L-tryptophan to help with their serotonin levels, they also may find that you also have, decreased energy, maybe some sexual side effects, reduced ability to focus, and that's because sometimes with antidepressants, you're raising up that serotonin, and that can drop down those other neurotransmitters for focus and energy. And so sometimes some people use small amounts of L-tyrosine to help there as well. Either way, whatever you do, if it's experimenting 5-HTP or L-tyrosine, if you're on an antidepressant, make sure you always start with the smallest dose possible. Make sure there's no negative effects, and then you can gradually increase the dose until you find what you need. And if there's any negative effects, you can stop immediately. And again, do this while you're under the care of a medical professional. Okay, so what if you want to get off your antidepressant? Like, let's say you're taking Prozac, Zoloft, or something like that. You've had enough, you want to get off of it, and you want to use amino acids to help you. So I've actually did that myself before with Celexa. I've tried to get off it just normally. It was impossible. The side effects were intense. I couldn't think. I had brain fog. I was getting all these brain zaps that were the creepiest thing in the world. And I actually had to use amino acids to help wean off of it. Before you decide to wean off antidepressants, first step, decide if this is the right time to do it. So if you're about to do all these big presentations in front of your company, you're about to get a big promotion, you have to perform, you have a kid on the way, and you're going to move to a different state, that might not be the best time to wean off an antidepressant. So for me, for example, I just hit a stage. I was actually in school, and I didn't have to, it was just hit after the finals, and so I realized all I had to do was work. I didn't have to study too much. I was in a stable environment, and I was planning on it, and then I had gotten sick. And so when I got sick, I knew, hey, I'm going to be out for a week or two anyways. I'm going to start this now. And so I chose a time when I knew there was low risk of it messing up my life or causing further stress, because I wasn't quite sure how I was going to take it. Then if it's the right time for you, again, first step, always take the smallest dose possible. So when you're looking at different brands, so let's say you're going to take 5-HTP. They come in all sorts of range. So you got 100 milligrams, you got 200 milligrams. The lowest I've seen is 50 milligrams. So what you can do, for example, is you buy 5-HTP, 50 milligrams, take that capsule, cut it in half or open it, pour out half, and take that. That way you know, hey, there's no negative effects, because if you just jump straight to taking like 200 milligrams, you might start causing all these problems. It could cause serious problems, and we don't want that to happen. So for example, if you're taking SSRI like Prozac, Celexa, hey, 5-HTP L-tryptophan, that's most likely going to help you. Maybe you might use a little L-tyrosine if you have some of those other negative effects associated with low dopamine or epinephrine. Or if you're taking SNRI, hey, L-tyrosine is probably going to be the one that helps me the most. So figure out which amino acid is going to be best for you. What if you're going to need more serotonin, more dopamine, more epinephrine, that type of thing. And take the lowest dose possible, gradually increase it until you find that it's helping you, and then you slowly wean off the antidepressant. Just very, very slowly. The more slow you can do it, the less side effects you'll probably experience. So for example, if you're taking Celexa, what will you do? You buy 50 milligrams 5-HTP first. You split that in half, so you're taking 25 milligrams of 5-HTP. You take it on an empty stomach. Let's say you take Celexa in the morning, so you usually want to take it about 6 hours apart. So you'd wait, let's say, until 4 p.m., later in the day, take 25 milligrams on an empty stomach, see how it affects you. If it works, okay, take 50 milligrams that same night, see how that affects you. Then the next day, if everything's going well, okay, now take 100 milligrams. Oh, okay, this is helping me a lot. So then you take 100 milligrams twice a day, and then you start slowly weaning off the Celexa, like very, very slowly. Let's say you take 5-HTP, it doesn't work. So let's try L-tryptophan. Let's see how that affects us, because some people react better to L-tryptophan than 5-HTP. I personally react better to L-tryptophan than I ever would 5-HTP. So you're taking the amino acid you need. You found that it helps you. There's no negative effects. Everything's safe. You're under the care of a medical professional. Then you slowly start weaning off the antidepressant. You can do it as slowly as possible. You slowly keep doing that. Maybe you need to increase the amino acids just a little bit, just to make sure none of those negative effects are messing you up too much. And then once you're finally off the antidepressant, then all you're taking is the amino acid. And then after a while, you'll find you won't need the amino acid anymore. So you could take the amino acids for a month, several months, however long you need, but eventually then you won't need those anymore. Then you've successfully weaned off the antidepressant and you don't need amino acids. At that point, it just comes down to the foundation of being depression free, which is nutritional, mineral deficiencies, making sure your body's working, you get no infections, your gut's working, and then the foundation of just having a great diet, making sure all that's dialed in. And then you're living a depression-free life, and you're not on any medications, and you're not taking all these pills and amino acids and vitamins and all this crazy stuff. Then you're free sailing. But to get there, it can be, you want to be as safe as possible and as cautious as possible, and just do it as slowly as you can. You don't have to just all of a sudden start taking all these things and then all these side effects start coming in, and then you're just messed up, and we don't want that. So you want to do it very calculated, very slow, very cautious, minimal side effects, and that's how you take amino acids with antidepressants. Smallest dose possible, take the right ones for what you need, be safe, see how it affects you, and then slowly increase from there. And then you can either use that to enhance the antidepressant that you're on, or you can wean off the antidepressant without all the crazy side effects that you would have gotten if you just tried to wean off it just by yourself. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments any questions, any experiences, and I'll talk to you next time.